Hi everyone, my name is Zaza and I'm here to tell you about the story of Aladdin and Princess Jasmine. So enjoy! In a country far, far away, there lived a poor widow and her son named Aladdin. One evening, a stranger knocked on the front door. "Good evening," he said. "My name is Mustafa and I'm looking for my brother's son, Aladdin. I've been away for a long time, but now I'm back. And as his uncle, I would like to take him to work for me so that he can help you by earning honest money." Aladdin wasn't too keen on the idea, because there was something about Mustafa that he didn't like. But his mother couldn't have been happier hearing the news, so she agreed to let Aladdin go with Mustafa. The next day, Aladdin packed a small bag of food and left with his uncle. The two walked for a day into the desert until they reached a cave. The entrance was too small for Mustafa to get in, so he told Aladdin to go inside for him. Aladdin, who suspected that Mustafa wasn't very truthful, didn't want to risk his life at first. But his uncle told him that there were gems and gold inside the cave. "You can take as much as you want. I only want you to find an old lamp for me and I will pull you out of the cave," Mustafa said. When Aladdin climbed into the cave, he couldn't believe his eyes. The cave was full of treasure just like his uncle had said. So he started filling his pockets with as many diamonds and rubies as possible. He also found a gold ring which he immediately put on his finger. And finally, he found the lamp Mustafa had asked for. Then, he asked his uncle to give him a hand getting out of the cave, but Mustafa told him that he wanted to see the lamp first. Aladdin, who was suspicious of his uncle, thought that Mustafa would take the lamp and leave him, so he refused to give him the lamp, and then Mustafa got angry. "Hey, listen boy, I'm not your real uncle and I don't care about you. I will leave you if I want. Since you don't want to give me the lamp, I will block this cave with this huge rock." He shouted and left Aladdin inside. The boy sat in the dark and cried with the lamp in his hands, which he blamed for his misery. "Stop your old lamp, it's not even made of gold and it doesn't work," he cried. He rubbed the lamp a few times to wipe off the dust, and suddenly a genie came out of it. "Master, I will grant you 3 wishes. Be careful with your choices," he said and waited. Aladdin was shocked, but he quickly answered, "Take me home!" And just the next moment, he was sitting at home, right before his mother, who almost fainted at the appearance of her son out of the blue. Aladdin told her all about Mustafa, the cave, and the treasure. While talking about the treasure, he rubbed the ring and a second genie appeared. This time, Aladdin's mother fainted. "Master, I can grant you 2 wishes. Choose carefully," advised the genie and waited. "That's easy. Give us enough gold and gemstones so that we can be rich until the end of our lives and even longer," said Aladdin. Their old house disappeared in a moment. Aladdin and his mother found themselves sitting in one of the many rooms of their palace, dressed in silk and cashmere. And they lived happily ever after, until one day, as he was walking around the city with his friends, Aladdin saw an exceptionally beautiful girl, and he immediately fell in love with her. She was the Sultan's daughter, the young Princess Jasmine. She was the gentlest, most adorable, and the prettiest girl Aladdin had ever met. Princess Jasmine liked him too, and a few days later, Aladdin went to the palace where the Sultan lived. "I want to marry your daughter." Instead of getting angry, the Sultan laughed. "You'll have to earn a palace at least like mine to ask for my daughter's hand." "You'll have that palace by tomorrow," Aladdin replied. And on the same night, when he was alone, he asked the genie from the lamp to grant him his second wish, to have a big palace as the Sultan's and right next to it. The palace was there the next morning, and finally, the Sultan let his daughter marry Aladdin. After the Sultan's death, Aladdin ruled the country and everyone lived happily. This news reached Mustafa, who knew how Aladdin had become so rich and powerful. he thought of a plan to get the lamp. He waited for Aladdin to leave the palace and stood under Jasmine's window, shouting as loud as he could. "New lamps for old lamps! Only today in the city! New lamps for old lamps!" And then people started crowding around him. Soon, he noticed that the princess was among them too. She thought that she could exchange the old ugly lamp, which Aladdin liked so much, and kept in their bedroom. As soon as he got hold of the lamp, Mustafa immediately rubbed it, and the genie came out of it with the same words. "Master, I will grant you 3 wishes. Please be careful of your choice. I want you to take me, Jasmine, and her palace as far away from here as you can, so that Aladdin wouldn't find us even if he rode for 3 days and 3 nights. When Aladdin came back in the evening, he found that Jasmine and the whole palace were missing. He searched for them for 3 days and 3 nights, and when he couldn't find it on his own, he rubbed the ring and asked the genie to grant him his second wish, to get him to Jasmine. As soon as he had wished for it, he found himself in Jasmine's room. "My dearest Aladdin, I knew you would find me." They hugged and thought through how to trick Mustafa so that he couldn't do any more harm. Aladdin hid in the palace, and Jasmine went to the vicious man. "I don't think my husband will ever find me, so I would like to become your wife," she told him. Mustafa believed her. He decided that this was the best day of his life, and he got so drunk that he fell asleep. Jasmine quickly took the lamp and ran to find Aladdin. They rubbed the lamp and asked the genie to take the palace back to its old place. Soon, they were in their city and everything seemed to be back to normal, but with one little exception, Mustafa. Aladdin asked the genie from the lamp to grant him his last wish, to turn Mustafa into a frog so that he could never bother them again. When they had no more wishes left, they returned the lamp and the ring to the cave, and they lived happily ever after. And that is the story of Aladdin and Princess Jasmine. And last but not least, I want to tell you 4 life lessons that you can learn from Aladdin. The first one is be yourself. The second one is you are greater than your situation. The third one is value friendship, and the last one is don't be greedy. I think that's all. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.